This stone does have some hard part of, uh, of the stone on it, but most of this was Cortex. I'm using this as an example because I don't have another large stone that, or a core. I don't have a real awesome looking core with all the Cortex taken off from it. But I will showcase this stone also sometime because it is just filled with uh, incredible images. But as I said, I'm just using this as an example. Imagine this sort of like that, just a really hard, all the cortex is taken off from it. And these are parts of cortex that have not been turned into tools or images. This has some red color on it because it had red clay all over it. But these are unworked pieces of cortex, not softened, not all the every little area softened to the touch, or painted, or carved into images. These are just the raw cortex, waiting for someone to see an image in it. See, they're all sharp edges. I wouldn't want to handle them too much, but there's possibilities of images all over them. And tool, they could be made into some kind of tool. This looks like it could be made into a abrasion crescent cutter, but also it just looks like it's just waiting to be turned into an image of some sort. But with all these sharp edges, I mean, they have to soften them and sand them and flint nap on them. I mean, pressure flake on them or something. But I can just see images all through. They're already waiting to happen. And this one, really sharp edges here. That'd have to be softened up, but surely someone could see something in there and go, yeah, I can make that. Now, this step from unworked cortex to carved images, I'm going to try to say something about that, and we'll move back to the pottery shop. The softer cortex is then, from the raw stage, carved into a tool. Well, not carved actually, just highlighted with either sanding to make soft edges or highlighting the tool. But the images are then put on there. That's an elephant. And that's a bird. On each one of these, this one and the elephant, you'll see that the rubber latex was made over the shape of the image. This one, I've done it a little bit different to try to maybe say something about the initial carving, the actual creation of the artwork, and have salt ready, folks. But rather than creating the rubber mold over the image, I came out from the image about maybe 1/8 of an inch and put rubber latex on everything that was not the image, so that I could show this one as an example of what I am getting a feeling of about how or why these images are made. I feel like, well, let's look close at this one. You'll notice that by putting the rubber latex on it this way, I can pretty well show, oops, up closer the napping that went on, or the pressure flaking or sanding or whatever it took to make that image appear. So let me pause for a bit and gather some thoughts, because it could be coming from way out there, but I really feel like this needs to be said. Folks, I'm going to have to take this off. I'll be right back. I feel that when this cortex was in the raw, or not worked yet, had sharp edges all over it and everything, that when the stone was broke, it left a little shelf right there. And I feel like that is what triggered a person's, the images they saw, and then they expounded on it and made that bird. And let me put that up. My light's not right just now. And it went somewhere. There. It's, again, I don't know how to put this in words, folks, but what I'm saying is I think it's the stone that gives the image to someone with some imagination. They see something in the stone. Possibly it was just a little shelf of flake, and somebody saw, okay, I could make that into a wing. And then, of course, if you had a wing, you got to create the rest of the bird. And on this side is a little bit softer cortex, so it had to have a little bit more carving to create the head and eye and the tail down to here. It had to have some a little bit of work. No, I mean, it's not major carving or anything. And this part of the wing here that folds over is on a softer part of the cortex, and it's pretty easy to see that again didn't take a major all-day job. So I'm not trying to take away the mysticism of the artwork. I'm just saying it's the stone that gives the image. Take that with a grain of salt.